Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in to the Legit Football NFL podcast. It is your boy, Kevin Phillip Fox, and I am here to talk all about, I think there's like a game happening this weekend or something. I'm not too abreast of the happenings these days. I'm a little out of it, but I think there might be some sort of a game, like a football game or something. But I'm not here to talk to you alone. Of course not. I couldn't do it without, believe it or not, maybe the weirdest reuniting of all time. Two of the most common faces on the Legit Football NFL podcast who have yet to share the screen this calendar year. We're fixing that today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Adrian Rovito coming all the way at you from Australia, a.k.a. Down Under, a.k.a. Europe. Adrian, what the H is up, brother?
You know me. I'm here to talk about the game. Of course, I'm talking about the Division 2 Curling National Championship happening this weekend. That's what we're here for, right?
Who's your money on?
I don't even know what curling
Who are you
is.
betting the rent on?
Hey, there's a segment coming up about that. But it has been, we were just talking backstage very quickly. It has been a hot minute. And to be honest, I very, very much missed this. So I'm very happy to be here, despite that this is our last game of football for, what, 8 months?
Oh, God. Oh,
yeah, a bit of flop in your mouth.
Don't say that.
It looks like we're in two different climates too. Like you look like you're in a cold area right now.
You know, LA's all right, man. It's south. It's not. It's I'm in the 50s. I'm in the 60s. It's cold for us. First world problems. We're walking around with our little fleeces on, saying, "Ooh, I'm chilly," but it's like negative degrees. Like where I'm from in New York, like my folks can't leave their house.
Yeah. Today's a casual 98 degrees in Melbourne, Australia. I always have to do the conversion on Google.
You said 98?
98.
Oh God, you poor guy. You got the AC.
The best.
Don't say it's the best.
I actually don't have the AC on because I like the heat. Like I swear it's not like I'm super tight. I'll happily put it on, but I love the heat.
That's some weird Australian crap right there. I'm not gonna lie to you, buddy.
It's honestly, it's not. It's me and my wife are very much, we're weirdos like this. Like we will take 40, which would be 100 yours, like 100 every day over anything else. Like no, I have no problem sleeping. I
like fall. Give me a crisp breeze. Give me like nice scents in the air. Like that's peak. Like honestly for America, start a football. Give me like 50 degrees. Give me hoodie weather. That's peak for me. You and I tend
to, we have our disagreements, but it's generally very much ceremonial. Like, I love you like no other, but
of course,
this is probably the first time that you've really, like, I've been like, wait, is he my guy? Is he my guy? Someone who likes fall?
Wow.
I hate people who are like, oh, I like the cold weather. It's really just stop it. It is not
cold. For fall's not cold. Fall's brisk.
What's fall for you? What's fall? Give me a temperature.
50 degrees.
Yeah, all right, hang on.
You can smell
on
the
weather
change.
No.
Too cold.
That's our winter. So
Armand,
actually,
our boys in the chat, and he does not like 98 degrees. Mr. New Jersey, of course, he's dealing with the negative temperatures as well. It's a terrible, resident listener and friend of the show and resident Pats fan, Emily Brolin, is in Connecticut right now, so she's enjoying. She said -2 with a blizzard. Thank God this game's not being played in New England, or else
we just don't get negatives here. Only if you go to like up into the mountains.
Not in California, not where I live either. But where I'm from, that's kind of the resting state. Anyways, we can talk about weather
podcast. Seriously.
Yeah, we can talk about weather all day. I really don't mind it. I enjoy it quite a bit. But we got 111 of you in the chat. Please comment live, ask questions. We are always catering the show to the listeners. That's what's great about Legit Football. Also, for those of you who don't know, Legit Football is based on a daily newsletter. Go to legitfootball.com if you haven't already and subscribe to our daily newsletter. It's free. It's awesome. And moving up in the world, Adrian, knock on wood, moving up in the world.
Look, let's not spoil anything yet, but we'll knock and we'll be hopeful.
I'm quite the stitious one over here. So can't be the one who costs us the
superstitious or regular stitious, would you say?
I would say super, honestly.
I think I'm regular stitious.
Just plain old.
Average,
you're a little stitious. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we got a little housekeeping stuff to get to before we get to hashtag the big game. So Adrian, without further ado, why don't you boot up NFL honors? First things first, We got to talk NFL honors, and there's a lot of interesting awards. Are we going award by award, give quick hit thoughts, or are we just doing like general thoughts on these?
Look, I think look, the real thing. This is a Super Bowl preview, right? And NFL honors already been done to death. I thought maybe we could just couple quick hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and in any sort of initial thoughts, to be honest, not a lot of this was super super surprising for me.
No.
I don't know if there's anyone that jumped out to you that's like, well, that shouldn't have happened.
Well, I think without like obviously, I think the biggest debate and the closest race was the NFL MVP race, and Matthew Stafford getting his first chunk of hardware other than a Lombardi. Pretty cool to see for him. Great all-time quarterback. Probably likely a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I
Although
think so now.
with the Belichick crap, who knows what a first ballot even means anymore?
Don't even.
Loses a little power. Kind of like Shador being named to the Pro Bowl. Kind of feels like the NFL's losing their way a little bit. Got to kind of redistinguish the accolades. It feels a little loose right now.
I do feel like maybe this year has shone a bit of a spotlight on that. Like this happens. It's not like it never happens before, where it's like there's an award given that we didn't expect. But just like between Belichick, even say what you want about him, and I'm sure Masseuse as well. Robert Kraft probably should have been somewhere in that in that first ballot Hall of Fame as well. Like, yeah, it's interesting, and it's funny when you talk about the MVP that there was. I think it was 16 votes for Stafford, if I'm not wrong, 15 for Drake May, and 1 to Justin Herbert.
It was 24, 23,
and 1?
2 to Josh Allen, my boy.
Are we talking about first place votes?
Yeah, that was the breakdown. 24 to 23 to 2 to 1.
And the one vote that went to Justin Herbert. Which is a little bit ridiculous.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad. So that's kind of why I brought up MVP and why I kind of wanted to like riff on it a little bit. Obviously, MVP is a sacred award. It's the most distinguished award other than MVP or Super Bowl MVP or Super Bowl trophy itself. So for it to be kind of a little willy-nilly for some of the voters, look, I love Josh Allen. He's my favorite player in NFL history. I would rather lose 10 Super Bowls with him than win one without him. Which is
really,
it's not a popular opinion among Bills fans, but that's how I feel. I adore him. I like that's.
I get it.
That's my guy.
I fully understand the love.
Yeah, if he never wins one, it will be one of the biggest chips on my shoulder I'll carry for the rest of my life.
Don't even put it out in the ether.
I know he's only 30. We're good. We'll talk about that. So we got a long off season. But I don't know if I probably wouldn't have voted for him if I had votes. Like of course, value's weird. Value's a weird qualifier, man. Like, look, Matthew Stafford had some throw up all over himself games late in the season, and Drake May really never did that. He was not amazing in the second half against the Bills in the one game they lost in the last 2 months, 3 months maybe. But I think a very strong case could be made for Drake May to win this MVP if it weren't for the fact that he was 23 years old. They played the Mickey Mouse schedule of all time.
Seriously.
And Matthew Stafford is probably never going to get another crack this good at an award like that. So I understand the human side of the award, and I personally don't hold a lot of resentment for it. But if I was a Patriots fan, I think I might.
Look, I understand that. I think the thing that the people who are voting for this, it's not really meant to be a narrative-based award, but it always is going to be. And the people who vote for this, they hear all of that thing about the Mickey Mouse schedule, like the easiest schedule in X amount of years, and like, and that has to, I actually think that has to factor in because you can only play who you're going to play, right? But it's not like, I feel like the Patriots have been a really well-rounded team through the entire year, and there's not that many games where Drake May was like, quick, everyone on my back, I'm taking us home. It was just kind of like getting through, and I'm not saying he hasn't played great because he has. We'll talk about when we talk to the Super Bowl preview.
Yeah,
his stats are excellent, but you have to factor in who he's been playing. And I do feel like that if Matthew Stafford and the Rams played that same schedule, one, they might be undefeated or maybe one down.
Sure, but on that same token, they lost to the Falcons.
That's fair. Yeah,
and
that's fair.
Pretty sure the Patriots beat the Falcons.
Yeah, that's look, there's no, and maybe undefeated is very much, that's a kind of like.
I know what you mean, though.
I'm overblowing it. Yeah,
I understand.
I feel like if you compared their stat line and swapped the teams, I feel like Stafford would probably be a clear winner. With all of that said, though, I'm not
Sure.
taking anything away from Drake May because he's been awesome. And, I guess like you, I don't hate the decision to give it to Stafford. I don't think it's a crime against nature by any means.
Yeah.
It's just, I can understand a little bit of Patriots fury, but I also can't because relax, man. You're back in the Super Bowl after 6 years. Don't even talk to me.
Well, exactly. And I think, anytime okay, I see petty Bills fans all over saying that those two first place votes that Josh Allen got ended up being the difference between Drake May and Matthew Stafford. And they're very happy that those votes went to Josh, and they kind of look at it as, oh, Josh Allen prevented Drake May from winning the MVP. Man, like MVP is a nice consolation prize if your team is not in the dance.
Yeah.
Stafford got the consolation prize. Drake May, I'm sure any NFL player, don't let any analyst, don't let any stupid analyst from the 4-letter network or any of the stupid crap you see on social media, no player in the NFL worth their salt, but really probably in the NFL period, would trade a shot to play in the Super Bowl for an MVP. So shut up.
Yeah. And there was actually, it's funny because there was a comment by Aaron Rodgers once, like, oh, I think I've still got an MVP in me. And I can't remember who it was. It might have been Myles Garrett, who was like, who cares? Like, why are you talking about MVP? Shouldn't you want a Super Bowl? Or something I'm paraphrasing here. But I agree with you. There's no Drake May. Like, Drake May ain't losing sleep tonight.
Nope.
Over the fact that he lost the MVP.
Not a wink. And any other NFL honors that jumped out to you? I thought Vrabel was very deserving of Coach of the Year. Garrett was a pencil in Sharpie in for DPOY. JSN's cool. OPOY.
Yeah. I mean, look, even Carson Schlesinger for the defensive rookie there. It's so funny that, like, on paper, I'm not calling Shadou Sanders a Pro Bowl quarterback, but like on paper, you got the DPOY, DROY, and a Pro Bowl quarterback, and the Browns just they don't feel their future feels no brighter, despite the fact that they've got this on their team.
Yep, it's I don't truly believe that there is a strong enough term for how awful that organization is. Dumpster fire is the best analogy.
You could be a fan of the Browns or the Jets, who would you pick?
The Jets.
Right now. Sure. Like, you had to swap over right now.
The Jets.
Yeah.
No brainer. Yeah. I at one point, when it was the Baker years, I would have picked the Browns, actually. I always thought, before Baker got humbled, I thought he was kind of annoying. But he was always
my boy.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't really do the whole he had one
feeling dangerous.
He had one half good season, and he's doing commercials where, oh, he lives in the stadium. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, you gotta go do something in the league. Have a little longevity before you get those kind of commercials,
Yeah, I do get that. I think Baker's always been my boy, and to be honest, because I've always loved an underdog story. This.
How can you not? How can you not?
When Baker came in, part of what I loved about him was like the Browns were just such a mess for so long, but it just feels like they can't get out of their own way. Now the Jets, and I know, Armand, and I feel for you, bro. I really, really do. I could see the Jets turning it around before the Browns do. To be honest, all the Jets need to do is their owner just needs to step back a little bit, head over to the political sphere, plenty of room for you over there, and just step out of the way. But anyway, I guess the point that I was making is that the Browns have got 2 NFL honors players and did nothing this year.
Yeah, pretty pathetic, but honestly not surprising. It's the Browns, right? It's just kind of another feather in the cap of embarrassment of that, once again, dumpster fire organization. Hopefully things, shaping up. I don't love the head coaching hire. We could probably talk ad nauseum. I think you and Jimmy already did about the head coaching hires.
Yeah, we had a I don't know if Monken had been hired at that point. Oh no,
was there
just been.
Can you post-it note me the Joe Brady discussion?
It was so our thoughts were that so actually I can give you, because me and Jimmy did 2 pods. We didn't think you would be happy about the McDermott firing.
I was disappointed for sure. I love Sean McDermott. I understand the decision, but I was very disappointed because
I kind of didn't. I'll be honest. You didn't
understand it. You didn't understand it. Fair.
I didn't. Because I think, look, the point that I made at the time was, it's like, all right, well, can he get you to the dance? And I understand that thinking, but like over the past 7 years, how many different people got dents? Not that many.
Yeah,
And like you guys have always been
yeah.
competitive, but
I think there were some talks of rearranging chairs on the Titanic. That was kind of the accusation of of the firing McDermott, promoting the OC. I think they just needed. It's almost like Marvin Lewis. It's like they just needed something different.
yeah.
I don't think it's like the messaging could have become stale. The defense giving up 33 plus points in every single playoff game that Josh Allen gets sent home in. I don't look. I think Allen could have been better in that Denver game, but I also think he played well enough to win it.
Oh, for sure. And we can go
those,
into that if you want, but
yeah, it's those weird.
Want to talk
it's yeah. No, I definitely. I'll get there. I'll get there. The wound's still fresh. Body's still warm. I don't even really watch basketball until after the Super Bowl because I'm like I can't think. It's like I can't get a new pet until it's been at least a month since my last one died. You know what I'm saying? I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we can maybe have a soapbox off-season episode because I would love to just get up and cry publicly about the Bears.
You too.
Packers,
yeah, I was gonna say you might need a borderline. No, not worse than I do. You guys have championships. Go dry your eyes with your trophies.
Yeah, I mean, there was one 15 years ago, and any prior to that, I was barely a fan.
Sure, yeah, that's a fair point, right? We talk a lot about if you weren't, I would say, mentally cognizant of your team winning a championship at the time of them winning it, you really can't use it in discussions.
Yeah, I would argue, not even argue, because it's I will say this out loud. I don't really say this out loud, but it's kind of been long enough. I wasn't really I was a Packers fan on paper when
sure.
but I wasn't a fan. I didn't really experience it. If that makes any sense.
We're actually talking about that quite a bit, and I think this is a great transition. Do we have just right into the Super Bowl then?
Yeah, let's do it. Yep.
Is it go time? Great transition because one of my best friends, Emily Brolin, she's from Connecticut, born and raised in New England, been a diehard Patriots fan with air quotes her whole life. But when her and I became really good friends, I started kind of indoctrinating her in the world of here. You watch every Sunday, you place your bets, you learn the names of every player, you get jerseys, I kind of ushered her into a new culture of obsession. I would say I kind of passed that torch, and I always tell her like she talks to me about we have all these championships, and I'm like, name 5 players from the teams that won those championships, and she can't.
Tom Brady or Malcolm Butler.
You know what I'm saying? And she can't, but now she can, and I'm like, okay, even though I hate you and I hate your team. This will hit different if they win this year because it will ring a lot more resonant in your life when you care this much. And the losses hurt the same, and that's all I can speak to personally as a distraught Bills fan. But that being said, Adrian, Rovito, I believe tomorrow at around 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, they're playing this football game that they call the Super Bowl. And it is the New England Patriots, led by MVP runner-up Drake May, traveling to Levi Stadium, neutral site, to take on former 3rd overall pick Sam Darnold.
Was he second?
He might have been 2nd or 3rd. Yeah, I don't remember because it was Saquon 2nd or was Saquon 3rd.
No, you're right.
Order.
You're right.
That's the only order I'm not remembering. I think it was Baker, Saquon, Darnold, if I recall correctly. But artist formerly known as the quarterback of the New York Jets. I'm sorry, Armand. And the Patriots are 4.5-point dogs against the Seattle Seahawks, led by Sam Darnold, with an over-under currently sitting at 45.5. It's swung all the way. It's been 44. It's been 47. We're settling in. It looks like the night before the Super Bowl, we're settling in at 45.5-point over-under. Adrian, I'll just kick it off with some general thoughts here, and then we can just kind of riff. We don't have Brian McFadden. I was really counting on charts today, but we will not be getting charts. We will not be getting too many polls of DVOA and EPA per play. And
I got some for you.
Oh, let's freaking go. That's what I'm talking about.
Not
I'm going to give you,
I'm not McFadden.
As you all know, I'm the resident vibes guy. I'm the resident eye test guy. And I feel like a lot of the times when you hear people say that, you can immediately just be like, yeah, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But a broke clock, I was going to say, a broke clock is right twice a day. It seems like my clock, I don't know, Adrian, you could speak to my track record of receipts on the show. I feel like my clock is like my broken clock is pretty darn accurate.
Yeah, I think you know what it is? Your broken clock, right? Is it's not broken standing still. It kind of broken, but moves. It ticks a few times. So it's right like 7 to 8 times a day,
I
and
like it.
that's
I
where
like
you
it.
are at.
You know
You
what? I'll
know,
take it. I'll take it. So we have the Seattle Seahawks, who have been really the juggernaut of the NFC ever since Thanksgiving. If you recall, Brian McFadden proclaimed, we finally have the best team in the NFL. It's the Rams. The Seahawks, somewhere along the way, kind of like in video game fashion, they killed them and they stole their turbo boost
yep.
towards the end of the season. I don't know what you call that, like killjoy or something. Like all their power ups that they had, it's like they stole their loot. It's like Fortnite. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They got all of the Rams momentum when they started beating them towards the end of the season, and then they started making mincemeat of the 49ers, and they've had not an easy road to the Super Bowl by any means, but they've looked like the best team in the NFL for a while. It's been feeling like Seattle was going to be the team. Outstanding defense, top 5 defense, um, solid offense. Sam Darnold putting it together in a way we've really never seen him, especially in the playoffs. I was going to say, let alone last year with Minnesota, but we all recall the great pumpkining of Sam Darnold of
Of course.
2024. No pumpkining this year. Will the clock strike midnight before kickoff in the Sam Darnold Cinderella story? I don't know. That's remains to be seen. We'll talk about it. But that's the most exciting thing. I think Seattle, I can't recall a team that's been this dependent on one weapon as Seattle is on Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's been one of the best receivers. He's had one of the best
Lights
receiver
out.
seasons we've ever seen. Offensive player of the year, kind of a no-brainer. I am just so excited to watch them play football tomorrow against another pretty strong defense, the New England Patriots, who kind of have a sum of the parts greater than the whole kind of defense. They got Christian Gonzalez, they got Robert Spillane, but a lot of what the Patriots have been doing on defense is, I would say, more so scheme dependent and more so process dependent with, Mike Vrabel at the helm, kind of, making sure that all their ducks are in a row. But crazy front, Christian Barmore, Tonga, Milton Williams, they hold it down up there, man. They really do. Like, that's just a hell of a good defensive line. And if we've ever seen Sam Darnold show an Achilles heel, it would be to pressure. So I think anticipate probably a risky game plan, a risky defensive game plan from Vrabel and the Pats to try to get Sam Darnold off his spots, off his marks. I would say that there's a non-zero, less than 50, but non-0% chance that we get seeing Ghost Sam tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that, and it's so funny you mentioned the pumpkining of Sam Darnold, because the way I think this is going to go is I think that pumpkining is going to happen either tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. I don't think you're going to get Sam Darnold next season performing the way he is now, but he's absolutely, and to his very much to his credit, has been battle tested. He, like you mentioned, he took over the Rams, and all I could think about when you talked about that reference of stealing turbo is, do you remember in Need for Speed Underground? Did you ever play Need for Speed Underground?
Yeah, of course.
Back in the day, right, where you just
PS2?
sit in there, yeah, going back, and it was the first game I could remember that had slipstream, if I remember right. And you would sit just behind a slipstream, and then you just right before the finish line pop out, take over, and that's kind of what the Seahawks have done to the Rams. But my point being is that I think Sam Darnold has proven that he can, the lights are not too bright and all that sort of thing. But I also just don't know if you're going to get this same situation next season. I think there'll be enough tape on Mike McDonald's defense that you can start to counter it. I think JSN's probably not going to be able to repeat the performance that we never expected to see coming this season. And I think if you factor in a few of those, plus their cap situation and who they're going to, like, I don't think they're going to have this. But irrespective, they have it now, and I truly hope Sam Darnold doesn't pumpkin tomorrow morning, because I would like to see a really good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You talked about the defense. So one thing I read this stat, and it is absurd. You mentioned Milton Williams. He's played 12 games this season. All right. In those 12 games that he has played, they've allowed just one time they've allowed a rush over 12 yards. No other, it was the Bucks in week 10, it was Sean Tucker rush for 18 yards. No other runner's gone for more than 12 yards. So
wow.
He is playing, and if they can shut out the run game, I mean, Sam Darnold has kind of become known this season for being able to operate the RPO like flawless, and you take that away from him, you put him in pass only downs. I feel like that's the way to get him frazzled. and you may get your seeing that goes Darnold. But he has, if people forget because they beat the Rams, he was having a terrible first 3.5 quarters. It wasn't until the final drive and then the 2-point conversion that he sort of turned it around, and that's good. It's good that he could put that behind him and be able to do that. But I just, he's going up against a team that if they can put him in that situation, if they can put him in long, third and long, second and long, and force him to have to start passing, he's got a 3.5% turnover rate. That's the worst among all QBs this year.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we kind of had a chance to break it down holistically. Like when Seattle has the ball, there's really one more name that we haven't mentioned that I think is a huge X factor in this game, and I think a lot of people would say that as well. Kenneth Walker has been arguably the hottest running back in football in the playoffs and through the end of the season. Ever since Zach Charbonnet went down with I believe it was the ACL, may have been the Achilles. Looks like Charbonnet's going to miss a lot of time, unfortunately. We've seen Kenneth Walker just explode as the lead back in Seattle, and I believe he's a free agent. So I anticipate Kenneth Walker getting a bag based on this postseason performance. And yes, New England's been pretty good at stopping the run, but I almost wonder if a player like Kenneth Walker isn't just the Achilles heel for a run defense like New England, who's very gap sound, who's very smart, who's not going to let you beat him with the big play. But Kenneth Walker's whole entire strategy is, I don't care if you bottle me up. I'm going to swing. Kenneth Walker has never hit a single in his life. He's never hit a double in his life. That dude has struck out or hit a home run on every single carry he's ever had. If he's bottled up, if he looks like he's going to gain 3 yards or lose 1 yard, he's going to say, I think I'm going to try to reverse field and score a touchdown on this play. And I kind of think that could be kryptonite for a defense who's so sound, because when you're sound, you're protecting against what you expect is supposed to happen. When Kenneth Walker has the ball, the only thing you can expect is that something that you don't expect is about to happen.
Expect the unexpected, of course.
Expect the unexpected.
And the Pats as well, they have had a good defense, but what they haven't had a good defense against is the big play. In fact, they're the worst in the league against 20-plus yard plays. So you're going to go, you've don't get me wrong, because I'm not saying they have faith. They've had far from a lollipop schedule through the postseason, but they have not had the most explosive offenses coming at them, particularly with the Broncos not having their starting QB. So, and the weather factor. There's a world here where the Pats try and shut down Kenneth Walker, but the big plays start coming, and Sam Darnold can, with JSN there, he can absolutely take the top off. Or there's a world where they try and sell out to stop that happening. Kenneth Walker gets going and starts to grind through some things, and then he hits that big play you're talking about, and that's it. So, without jumping ahead to my pick here or my prediction, I actually don't see a world where the Pats win this game. I don't want to put it out there, but
knock on wood, right?
Yeah, because I mean, look, and I'll be watching the game with my best friend who's a Pats fan, and so I'm gonna have to be a Pats fan for the day. Don't hate me, because he would support
Take your
the Packers.
Tums beforehand.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It is gonna be hard. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skew my bets heavily towards the Pats, so there's some genuine passion for it.
We love some emotional hedging. I did the same thing.
Yeah. So, but I kind of see like this Seahawks defense doesn't have a lot of weakness, and they defend the big play really well. So Drake May, who's been super accurate downfield, they're going to be able to stop that. They're going to be able to stop the run. Trayvon Henderson, he's not an excellent blocker, so they're going to have to really ride Stevenson, because Seahawks are getting home like alarming. Like if you just, I guess I know I'm rambling here, but if you think about like the pieces that match up against each other, the Seahawks blitz the least, 28th in the league, right? Yeah. But they have the best blitz to sack ratio that exists in the NFL. Drake May, on the other hand, has the worst pressure to sack ratio. It's I actually wrote this down. Let me just check it. It's 45%, more than double of any other postseason quarterback. So it's just like it's strength versus weakness in some instances, and I want to say, I can hear my child coming. He's coming to make his annual
good
annual thing. Come in, buddy. He's coming to say hi. So yeah, I just don't see a world where the Seahawks are going to be able to stop. The Pats are going to be able to stop the Seahawks from taking them apart, and there's going to be that one big play. Yeah. Sorry, 1 second, Kev. Let me get him.
All good, and I'll just piggyback off what Adrian's saying while he's on daily daycare duty. Did he leave?
No, he's gone.
There he is. What's up, Fabes? Look at you, man. You look
Every
more and more
episode.
like your pops every day, bro.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
And
Hi,
Kevin.
Fabian.
Hi, Simon.
And Fabian, who's gonna win, the Patriots or the Seahawks? You pick.
Seahorse.
I did
Yeah,
not
that's
plan
my
that.
dog. I like that. Smart kid.
All right, you can sit
Smart
here for a little bit if you
kid.
want. Sorry, continue your point. I guess what we were saying is I think the Pats are going to be a little bit outmatched here. I could be wrong.
Oh, no, there's absolutely zero doubt that they are aggressively outmatched, I would say. That is absolutely the case. I think the key that they win this game, I think, comes from a couple things. So first and foremost, I'll just say we haven't really talked too much about when the Patriots have the ball. We've focused quite a bit on when Seattle has the ball, but when the Patriots have the ball, we're looking at a second-year player who's the runner-up MVP, who has proven to have that poise to withstand whatever pressure he's under, hasn't really had to do, like, respectfully, like, let's take the jokes aside. I hate the Patriots. I despise them. They've kind of stolen the Chiefs' thunder as, like, my new, like, hated team, just with the, I think I've been saying it all year, but it's devil magic. I've never seen a team just kind of fall booty backwards into more luck than this Patriots team. I would, Adrian, you know how many times the Bills were the 2 seed and they never got a path like that to the Super Bowl? It was Mahomes, it was Burrow. This Patriots team played. Let's talk about the running backs they played. They played Kamani Vidal. They played Woody Marks. They played RJ Harvey. And now finally they're getting a real challenge, which is why I think Ken Walker might feast, because this Patriots team is going to see him and be like, oh, that's a running back. They've played Justin Herbert with, so banged up and no O-line. They've faced the absolute shell of CJ Stroud that he's become. Wow, what a regression that dude has had.
Yep.
They've faced Jarrett Stidham, and they still tried their best to lose that game, if not for a questionable lateral play that didn't look like a backwards pass to me, that they win 10-7 in a game where their only 7 points came when they were handed the ball at the 20-yard line. That team. So the path for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, Adrian, is that the team we've seen all playoffs is not the team that they are. Because if the team that's showing up all playoffs show up tomorrow, this is going to be one of those laughable, embarrassing Super Bowl games. Because this Seahawks team is a legitimate team with great coaching and a great quarterback. There's no world where that Patriots team that we've seen the last 3 weeks beats this Seahawks team. The path for the Patriots to win is for them to find their regular season form. Drake May to find his MVP form. Dude, he's been turning the ball over left and right.
That's a questionable part here, because they're going to get home against him. And the thing with the Seahawks defense is they come with 4 and they get pressure. Like they you know what? It's the same but different. They remind me of the Eagles that won the Super Bowl, where it's like they always rush 3 or 4 and they somehow they always got pressure and they always collapse the pocket because they just had such an oppressive defensive line. The Seahawks always rush 4, but it comes from different places. So it's less, okay, we've got a monster, and more it's like you don't know where it's coming from. We've got monsters everywhere, and you don't know which one's going to come.
Yeah.
And if Nick Imanrari is playing, I know he's injured, and I know that's a big talking point, but if
he's playing,
he's playing for sure. But if he's playing, like if he plays the way he has been, where he's such a chess piece, and they move him around, and it's funny actually. I actually think could see him getting home for a second. That's paying pretty well. I'll get to that when we talk about props. But
here we go.
The Seahawks defense is such a monster, and it's such a well-rounded monster, and it's also, and it's like, this is really the first. I mean, Mike McDaniel had them playing okay last year, but this is the first year we've really seen them. And I remember listening to I can't remember, it was an NFL journal talking about you need 12 to 13 games of tape to be able to effectively diagnose and scheme against, right?
Yeah.
And while they've got that, they don't have that much more. Like, it's not like, when you're playing certain teams, you might have like 2. Let's take the Chiefs as an example. If you want to try and scheme against Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not saying it's easy, you've got tape and tape and tape and tape. You don't have that with Mike McDaniel's defense, so it's going to be hard for them, even with an extra week to plan, to scheme out exactly. And it's the hardest part is it's always disguised, and it's always coming from a different place, and there's very few proxies to give away where that's coming from. And for Drake May, who has played excellent, and I'm not, he's got an awareness for the game that a second-year rookie quarterback
impressive,
should not have.
Stud.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to say this, but I think he's going to be in our lives for a long time, and I think you're going to learn to hate him. Not as much as Tom Brady, but close.
I was going to say, I mean, first of all, the fact that he's already earned my hatred in his second season is pretty impressive. I got to
Yeah.
give him his flowers, man. I paid a lot of money.
That's an honor right there. That's an award.
I paid a lot of money to fly my band to Buffalo to watch the Bills and the Pats in week 4 or week 5. He ruined those rivalry jerseys, man. My mom bought me one of those, those snowy Bills jerseys they lost to the Patriots in.
That hurts.
I
do
watched.
know, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I spent American currency to watch the Patriots beat us. I hate that dude, and that's a huge honor for him in his second season. Like that's, I didn't think I'd hate him for a while.
Well, look, and sadly, I don't think it doesn't feel like a CJ Stroud, and I'm not going to say Jaden Daniels yet because injury obviously plagued this season, but it feels like he built up to this. He showed it last year, but he didn't have the pieces around him. They got the right coach in there.
Terrible coach last year too. Mayo was laughably bad.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Actually, can I give you one X factor though? The one thing that
please.
I can see, the Pats have showed up to every game ready to play, and I know that's such a cliche, but it's just it's everything. It's it was Drake May sliding down because he wasn't going to get out of bounds in time to be able to stop the clock with 2 seconds. And Vrabel's already there. Those little things, things that little 1%ers, and the game management from Vrabel has been excellent. Now you're going to take all of that. I'm not saying Mike McDonald has been a great coach, and he's obviously got the guys, but there's something about Vrabel, man, and that's why he's got Coach of the Year, and that's why you see those locker room videos, and
absolutely,
and the teams love it. The players love him. He kind of has a Dan Campbell-esque presence to me. So if there's one thing where it's like who's going to be more physical and who's going to be playing to try and really bruise the team early, I could see Vrabel's team coming at that, despite the fact that the Seahawks are very physical. I just see Vrabel being like, get out there, hurt them early, and make them know that we're here and we're not going to be messed with.
Right.
And on the flip side of this, if there's one part of the Pats think that's either going to fall apart besides the big play, it's their left side of their offensive line. They have really struggled, and they
bad.
Will Campbell. I'm not saying that. I was going to say Jack Campbell, and now
Will Campbell's been tough. Thus far.
I can't imagine that they are going to do super well here. And I think if you get a good game out of them, out of their left side, that can at least keep Drake May from getting strip sacked, you might have a chance. But I don't know. All of this is I'm trying to sell a game that really I can't see going any other way. I could be wrong on that, and I have been wrong at least once in the last 10 years, surely.
Yeah, no, I don't. Not as far as I recall. Absolutely, man. I think the keys when the Patriots have the ball are going to be May's poise against an incredible defense. I think the keys are going to be you got to counter McDonald's aggression with some screens to Ramondre, some misdirections. I think Ramondre is kind of a key because I think he's stepped up in a big way this playoffs in a similar way to Ken Walker, just with less pizzazz and less volume impressiveness. Ramondre stepped up in a way of, if you give him the ball and a sliver of daylight, a player like that who is, he kind of has the build of a bruiser. He kind of is always profiled as a between the tackles guy, but homie can catch the ball. Homie can run routes. Ramondre Stevenson is an X factor in this game because Drake May's going to need a safety valve, and I think Ramondre Stevenson will profile as the safety valve. I think don't be surprised if we get a different version of Stephon Diggs than we've got all playoffs. Look, I got to be honest. I'm very familiar with the Stephon Diggs sort of magic act that he does in the playoffs where he just makes himself disappear. We've all seen it. Bills fans are familiar. 3 catches for 7 yards in the famous 13 seconds game. Last week, we get the media tour of Stephon Diggs. Oh, he's looking at, he's going to the big dance. He's finally going after all this. What was his stat line, Adrian? 3 for 14? 3 for 15?
Couldn't tell you.
Something embarrassing like that. Can you pull that up for me while I keep lamenting? But I think we saw a version of Stephon Diggs this year when his back was against the wall that I keep waiting to see in the playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Diggs go out and have 8 catches for, 75 yards and a couple key first down conversions. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mac Hollins catch one of those. Last week it was a flea flicker, but Mac Hollins seems to be the guy that when Drake May is under the most arrest, when Drake May is, when Drake May is scrambling out of the pocket, creating off script, and he just kind of flicks one down the field, it's usually Mac Hollins on the receiving end of those passes. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see a big game from those guys. They kind of have a faceless receiver group, but they all do their thing. Diggs, the slot zone beater, Booty, the deep threat field stretcher, Mac Hollins, the post route, run the what do you call it? The thankless routes, the for the love of the game routes, right?
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if that faceless wide receiver attack, in addition to Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry, who if you didn't know this, Hunter Henry profiles to have maybe one of the best games, given Seattle is a bit weak to the tight end. That's one of their areas where they're susceptible. Hunter Henry could be, his Vegas betting line's around 38, 39 yards, 3 catches.
Okay.
Hunter Henry's not a bad dart to throw in this game. So those are going to be the keys, I think.
It's funny you say that because I was reading something the other day where it was kind of like in under 2.5 seconds to throw, by far the most prominent targets are Stephon Diggs and Kayshon Boutte, and then after that, May tends to scramble out of the pocket, and then it's kind of like anyone's game, and that's what makes him unpredictable, to be honest with you, because you can kind of you can cut out those first couple of seconds of the game if you can get pressure, but then if he gets out of the pocket, then anyone could be open. So, and he's got an accuracy. He has the highest accuracy amongst QBs, not this season. So, sorry, let me read this properly. He's 9% completion percentage over expected. So he's got 9% completion percentage over expected, is the highest since the stat was recorded in 2016. So not just this season. So he's excellent downfield, excellent with accuracy. And if he gets out onto the scramble, that's where he can kind of cause some damage. But I agree with you in this. I think Stephon Diggs could have a big game. I was just looking because hasn't had a great postseason run. 5 for 17, 4 for 42 for 16. We'll factor weather into some of those. But over the regular season, he's averaged.
That's the Diggs special.
Yeah, he's averaged 4.25 receptions per game. But I don't know. There's something about, I feel like this game might be different, and I feel like we could see a different side to him.
Me too. I'm nervous of that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure the narratives will come down the line if that happens, but they'll be coming your way.
Nothing you can do about narratives, man. It's just part of the sports. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating as a Bills fan. Like I can give you a lament here, just like Sam Darnold in the same draft class as Josh Allen getting to a Super Bowl before him. Drake May getting to a Super Bowl. It hurts, but it's football. And you can't. I feel like you can't zoom in so much. Like you have to have perspective, but media and especially the 4-letter network and social media, Twitter warriors, they're trained to not be intellectually honest. They're trained to say the thing that's going to get the most response, the most visceral response. So Adrian, I agree with you that those narratives will come, and I think you just have to be like Jon Snow in Game of Thrones with the sword, with the intellectual honesty. You got to pull the sword out. It's the battle of the bastards, and they're all running at you, and you just got to say,
"Oh yeah."
We at the end of the day, I'm gonna always rely on the intellectual honesty. I'm gonna call it like I see it. You can only play who's across from you. Respect to May, respect for Sam. But if this is what I've been wanting to say for weeks on this podcast, I haven't been here. If it was fair, it wouldn't be as awesome. It's not. That's
a very good point.
It's not meant to be fair.
Chaos reigns supreme in this world, right? Like if everything was predictable, and that's the hard part about doing this podcast, and I'm sure what many people who cover the sport for a living do is it's hard to predict, but that's why it's awesome. That's why it's amazing, and it's part of what I love about sports betting as well.
Yeah, same.
Any given Sunday, right?
Volatility, chaos.
And the other thing to your point is people pull stats, and this is one stat that the Patriots have had the highest EPA per play as an offense all season, but that went from 0.155 to 0.112, and that's kind of an alarming drop until you're like, oh wait a second, 6 of those games were in some of the worst weather we've seen all playoffs. So it's I think people will find stats to be able. I don't know what Everclear is.
Just water, actually. Just water.
What is Everclear? Can you?
I think it's a really strong vodka.
No, Kevin Phillip Fox, famously too awesome for any alcohol.
That's right. Almost 5 years.
It up any further.
Almost 5 years.
So yeah, you can find stats to paint any picture you want to paint. But I really do. If we're talking about a vibes check here, grain alcohol, nice. I make my own grain alcohol. Fun fact. So
I'm just
No, it's delicious. I turn it into limoncello. It's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Some
So
European stuff if I've ever heard it.
that is, I'm really coming. I can't say certain words. Yeah, yeah, like, but I'm really coming to my old European. There's a slanderous word that we could use that I'm allowed to say because I am European, but I won't say it
I love it. I
on here.
respect it. I respect it.
I'm really coming into my own. I make my own wine. I make my own limoncello.
Let's
I've got a
go,
fig tree in
Age.
my backyard. It's awesome.
Yo, you better start a little company over there. Start a little
I've
distillery.
thought about it. Don't think
Fly
I've
me
done
out.
it.
I'll be your head of marketing, bro. Fly me out.
I,
We'll do it.
I would pay you just to hang out with me. I'd be like,
Hey,
no, this is my VP of being
let's
cool.
go. We'll
Um,
just schmooze people all day. Let's go.
what was I saying? So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put a bow
Let's
on my
get to the
points here.
picks. I think it's about time. Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Is I was gonna say from a stat perspective, you could line these guys up, and I did read an article that lined up a lot of their regular season stats and argue that they're equally good teams, equally good offenses. But you're stat picking and you're cherry picking. I think from a vibes perspective and from an overall completion, like team completion perspective, I cannot see this game going any other way than the Seahawks winning it. But I also don't see it being a blowout. I feel like it's going to be one of those ones where it's controlled start to end. And if we don't get Sam Darnold, I think they're going to put up, let's say 31 points. I'm going to say they're going to put up, but the Pats will put up a fight, and I'll give them, let's say 24.
31-24.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I feel like you might have.
that.
I feel like you might have gotten a hold of my notes here because hold on, wait 1 second. I've been waiting on this reveal the whole time. Hold on 1 second.
I can't wait for this. Is that I see? Even I know who the Seattle Mariners are.
All right, so
are you a Mariners fan, or did you buy that just for this?
I actually,
excellent.
You know what? I believe it or not, this is kind of funny. Like I've always been a Yankees fan. I'm not the biggest baseball fan. I'm getting more into it these days. But I have a couple of really good friends who are huge Mariners fans, and when I learned of the Mariners' history and the no championship appearances and the patheticness of their overall existence, it endeared me to them quite a bit. You know, me and my underdogs, I
hear you.
I need perennial losers to be my favorite teams. So I am going to pick the Seattle Seahawks as well. I've been representing the city with the greatest coffee and the city that I think rains a lot. I haven't been, but hopefully someday. And I got to pick.
Are they known for the best coffee?
Yeah, I think Starbucks was invented there, maybe. And
you'll never and I know because you've been to Europe, you'll never convince me that America has good coffee. I'm sorry. I know you're a connoisseur.
Yeah. Y'all call it sock water, right? That's what when I was in France, they said they called American coffee sock water.
Yeah. My time there was not pleasant coffee wise.
Well, you gotta just have cold brew, bro. You like cold brew?
My only time there, that's quotations. I went to Hawaii. I'm not going to call that going to America. But
Hawaii's got good coffee though. They got Kauai brand. It's like, you gotta just get cold brew. I'm telling you, bro. It's the best. It's so hyper concentrated. It's so flavorful. Oh, here we go. My boy Armand. Hold on. Two things. We've been chatting about coffee and the chat's popping off. Armand, I'm going to be biased and say Seahawks win. I don't care what the score is. Just please, for the love of God, let the Seahawks win, please. Me and Armand don't have a lot in common as football fans. We're great buddies. He's obviously the legit football regular extraordinaire, but we can both agree that we are rooting on the Patriots' downfall. Also, Titan maximum. If Seahawks win the turnover battle, they'll likely win the game. Turnover battle equals winning the game according to Titan maximum. Not a bad take. Pretty consistent. I mean, that's kind of football guy 101, right?
But look, I do understand the point of like Seahawks. Sam Darnold has been turnover prone and Drake May has been fumble prone. And if one of those versions of those players come out, that's a pretty big thing to overcome in a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And
the hottest take so far.
Oh yeah, not for me. I love iced coffee.
Actually, I don't mind cold coffee too.
I love iced coffee. It's 98 degrees, Adrian. You're gonna drink hot coffee?
I have already had 2 coffees today, but
we're both hot.
Yeah. But see, this is another old Italian thing. You make like 4 or 5 short blacks, put the sugar in, put it in the fridge, and then that is just like, I don't know what the word is, but that is the crack of a hot day coffee.
Oh my gosh, you disgust me. No, I'm all cold coffee all day. Iced coffee. I'll drink iced coffee in negative temperatures. I think you got a hold of my notebook because I'm a fan of the over at 45.5. I think Seattle's going to get enough juice to score. I on the low end, I think 24 to 27 points. I think they'll score 30 as well. My final score prediction is 30 to 24. So
Close.
I think you might have literally got a hold of my notebook. But it's going to be a great game. There's so many, like, it wouldn't shock me at all if the Patriots won. And Adrian, prior to the Denver game, when I found out Bo Nix broke his ankle, I knew my dad. I know a flag will be thrown on the Bills during the game. Yeah, probably, Dad. Honestly, let's be real. Adrian Brandon Cooks caught that pass, right?
Let's discuss this in the offseason.
If you say no, then I will literally never talk to you again. So think about it.
Then the answer is yes.
Okay, smart. We'll talk about it.
Definitively is.
I want to say
I stand by that, but look, it's been rough. I don't want to get into the officiating for the Bills because I feel like that's another hour on the pod,
which is horrible. Why is it? Why I would never want that to be part of the discussion, and it always is. It's such a pain in the butt. Anyways, without further ado, Adrian, I would not be at all surprised if this outcome is flipped. Prior to the Denver game, I actually put a good chunk of change on New England to win the Super Bowl because I said, if it happens, I'm going to be so pissed off that I'm going to want to dry my eyes with some Benjamins.
Emotional hedge.
And it was a good one. And I'm not pulling out. I'm all for cash outs by the book. I'm not pulling out. We're rocking. We're going to see what happens, man. We're going to see what happens. If I lose that money, it will be the cost of watching the team I hate, the second most in the league, maybe behind the Chiefs, but it's really a coin flip at this point. It will be worth it. It will be worth it to watch them lose.
The Chiefs have to be more recency bias than anything. I think if you think about who's tormented you, the Bills more over the past 20 years, it's probably been
100%, dude. 100%.
All right. Last thing before we wrap, if you're okay, throw a couple props out there. Since we're speaking about making money, anything you're thinking?
Let's talk about it. Well, how about you got any that you're like really in on, like any that you're really stoked on?
I would go. So I want to put. I'm going to put some cold hard cash on this on DeMarcus Lawrence to just have a monster game. He's had a strip sack every playoff game this postseason. I think him having a strip sack is plus 1100.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm actually going to put him down for 2 sacks plus. I would put him down for a strip sack. I'd put some coin on him because you'll get good odds because defensive props can sometimes be a throw, but I just feel like he's going to have a monster game.
I love it, dude. I love the balls.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that. So that's one that I would absolutely put. This is the kind of game where I could see JSN having a massive game because of those.
Me too.
Like, he's either going to, you know what it's going to be? It's either going to be he disappears, and when we're talking about this on the recap, we're like, where the hell did JSN go? Or he's going to go for 115 2 touchdowns. So I agree. I think I would say anytime TD for sure. If you want to put a little bit on two TDs, I could see that happening. And I'd be putting him over 100 yards. They're too susceptible to the big play.
I've been doing a lot of research on the books and on the popular picks. I'm very plugged into the podcast, the betting podcast, the betting content. A lot of JSN fades this week.
Really?
I don't agree. You never, in my opinion, you never offensive player of the year. I think it's akin to last year. Saquon was a popular fade in the Super Bowl, and he ended up, pumpkining in the game. I mean, the Eagles won, so it didn't end up mattering, but Saquon did not have a good game at all in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, JSN, I'm taking the overs. I like the overs. Here's a couple that I like. I really like Ramondre Stevenson receiving yards. I talked about the screens. I talked about the countering Seattle's aggression. I would not be surprised at all if Ramondre has 30 receiving yards. His line's anywhere from 19.5 to 24.5. Maybe take an alt line, go for like maybe 30 or 40. He could get that on one catch. Ken Walker rush receiving is around 100. I think it's going to be a volume play. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 18 or 19 carries and 4 catches. Would be very surprising if Ken Walker didn't average 4 to 6 yards a touch. So, take that for what you will. If I had to pick one on the Drake May, I like Drake May rushing props. His longest rushing prop is at 12.5 yards. I think he'll get a 13-yard carry. He does that.
Yeah.
I don't foresee him. His rushing yardage line is around 40. That's a little high for me to comfortably take that. Meanwhile, the passing yardage for May is around 220. and it's just become too low because it opened around 230. It's just become too low for me to comfortably take the under, but I would have prior to this.
I
Go ahead.
understand that. No,
Yeah.
I understand. That's
I'm just rapid firing. I'm just talking through my process of the week.
I was actually, while you're talking, I was listening and looking up Diggs' receptions line, 4.5. I'd take the over on that.
You like 5 for Diggs?
Yeah, I mean, he's average, like I said, he's average 4.25. I just feel like he's going to be, because the pressure is going to come so quick in this, I feel like they're going to have to try and get the ball out quick or try. And, Seattle's been excellent against the run. So they're not going to be able to really rely on the run game to get them going. So I see short passes. I see Diggs getting quick, quick balls out to him. I could just see five receptions plus.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Converts the yards, I don't know, but I could see the receptions.
I don't hate it. I've just seen too much career pumpkining from Diggs for me to like comfortably do that. Like he disappears in those, and it's funny because he also rises to the occasion. I think Diggs is kind of a player who, especially this year, like he's just too volatile for me to be comfortable. Rashid Shaheed is pretty interesting because his rushing yardage line is 3.5. He's good for a carry a game. They do an end around to Shaheed almost every single game. Not to mention his receiving yardage line implies that they only expect him to get 1 catch. The line for the receptions is 1.5, but then the yardage is like 22, 23, 20, like 30 yards. So they're saying if they think Shaheed's going to get a catch, it's going to be a long catch. But
yeah,
if this game's close and Darnold's throwing it more, I could see it.
I'm looking at his. I'm make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Looking at his rushing stats here: 1 for 31, 2 for 27, none against count. Yeah, look, you know what? I like where your head's at here. And actually, I didn't even think about that. I might put something on Shaheed to rush.
4 yards. I also like. There's a couple fun ones that I've been hearing about. Over under players who attempt to pass in this game is at 2.5. We got Josh McDaniels.
I'd take the over on that.
Cooper Kupp. We have punters. We have if a quarterback has to come out for a play. If anybody, we got a Drake May with a shoulder, Sam Darnold with an oblique.
I'm taking that.
Does a non-quarterback attempt to pass? Like I don't know, or not even non-quarterback. Does a third player attempt to pass in this game? I'm liking these fun ones. Those are always the fun ones in the Super Bowl. Like those are the ones that I'm always like. It's the Super Bowl, like throughout, for funsies, man. The first time
and McDaniel's going to be in his bag. He has to be in his bag.
Efton Chisholm's going to get an end around and he's going to bomb one. Watch, like I'm telling you, bro. It's. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's exciting. My dad's thinking maybe no Swift and Cardi B camera flash. Is he maybe implying some NSFW Cardi B stuff, or?
I assume he means.
Do you mean like a flash of the?
Yeah, put on them on the. I
got it. Okay, I thought he meant like Janet Jackson style.
Well, I mean that'd be weird for a heavily pregnant lady.
I would prefer. Yeah, let's do no flashing. Can I bet there won't be a flash?
Overrun the 0.5 flashing.
Anyways, Adrian, I'm thinking Hunter Henry. I like his props. I like the over. I think I like Seattle -4.5.
All right, wait. With your chest, one prop. Who's like this is actually bet Kev's rent.
If I get only one on the whole thing.
One prop. Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard.
Have some thinking.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Do it again.
Yep, hold
on. Ramondre Stevenson receiving yards.
Okay, I'm going to get Marcus Lawrence to record a sack.
Let's go. We're here. The hay is in the barn.
He's actually, you know what? He's favored on the Seahawks side to record a sack, so that's not really with my chest, but I'm still going to go with it.
There is absolutely zero more discussion to be had, Adrian Rovito. We have one more sleep for us. I don't know about you. I don't know if will you be awake for this?
Yeah, hell yeah. I actually will be severely drunk by this, so I'm going to.
What time is 3:30 Australia time?
So the game's at I think it's 11:30 is actual kickoff. But I will be 3:30 PST.
Yeah, 3:30 PST.
10:30. So I will be drunk by that point.
Nice, bro. Congrats.
That's famously sober, but I would
getting high off your own supply over there, Mr. Limoncello.
No, we're going to a sports bar, field friends of ours. And,
okay.
And it's an unlimited drinks package. It'll be fun.
Congratulations, man.
Gracias.
No, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We talked Super Bowl. We talked NFL honors. We gave you our predictions. We gave you our props. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Legit Football NFL podcast. As I said, huge things around the corner. If you're not already subscribed to the newsletter, WTFYD FR.
Agreed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Rovito, anything you want to say to the good people of America and the World Wide Web before we sign off?
No, that's all. This has been fun, and we'll be back for the recap. But yeah, big things are coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, I agree. Go Seahawks. Fingers crossed. But if the Patriots win, I will be drying my eyes with Benjamins. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Adrian Rovito. I'm Kevin Phillip Fox, the host of Legit Football NFL podcast, and we are out.